Welcome to Bitcoin Insight. Today we're not talking about charts, not about halving, ETFs, or price. Today I'm taking you on a different journey through the pages that made me change the way I think. Yes, because before understanding Bitcoin, you have to unlearn some of what we've been taught about money. And for me, that shift in perspective came through reading. Some books shook me, others turned on a light. Some made me question everything. In this episode, I'll share which books changed my view on money, on freedom, on trust, and of course on Bitcoin. The First Punch to the Gut, The Bitcoin Standard by Saifedean Ammous. The first book is The Bitcoin Standard. And no, it's not just a book about Bitcoin, it's a book about money, about what makes it good or bad. What struck me most was how it explains the history of money, from salt to gold, from paper to digital. What really changed me? When Ammous describes how inflationary monetary policy punishes savers and rewards immediate spenders. Reading that, I realized Bitcoin isn't just a technology, it's a form of resistance, an idea that stands against a system that prints money out of thin air and tells us everything is fine. A New Look at Freedom, The Sovereign Individual by Davidson and Rees-Mogg. This book was written before Bitcoin, and yet it eerily anticipates it. The sovereign individual imagines a future where individuals, through technology, free themselves from the state. A world where power becomes decentralized, and where money, free, digital, without borders, becomes a tool for self-protection. For me, it was an uncomfortable book, because it makes you ask, how much freedom do I really have? What happens when technology outruns governments? And today, after Bitcoin, these questions aren't science fiction anymore. Understanding what's behind it. Layered Money by Nick Bhatia. If you want to understand how the financial system really works, layered money is a must. Nick Bhatia explains how today's money is structured in layers. The first layer is sovereign money. The second is bank deposits. The third is digital currencies like Bitcoin. But careful, he doesn't present it as a revolution, but as evolution. What impressed me is his ability to make such a complex system understandable, and it made me reflect on how Bitcoin fits, modestly but powerfully, into this global architecture. The philosophy behind the code, Bitcoin is Venice by Alan Farrington and Sasha Myers. This isn't an easy book, but it's poetic, it's deep, and if you love thinking, Bitcoin is Venice will challenge you. It talks about culture, beauty, responsibility. It compares Bitcoin not to a weapon, but to a work of art, to something that reflects order, harmony, and limits. For me, it was a book that humanized Bitcoin, far from technical slogans, close to ethics, and it reminded me why we're here in the first place. Not to make money, but to understand the world we live in. When Money Dies by Adam Ferguson. It's not about Bitcoin, it's about Weimar Germany and hyperinflation. A time when an entire economy collapsed because money no longer had any value. A loaf of bread cost $1 million. A lifetime of savings wiped out in a month. Reading that book made me understand that money is not eternal, and that Bitcoin today is also a response to that fear. To the fear that the money we rely on may one day stop working. All of these books left something with me. They made me doubt, reflect, start over. And they helped me understand why Bitcoin isn't just an investment. It's a powerful idea that touches economics, ethics, freedom, and the future. If you're trying to understand better, don't start with YouTube. Don't start with the price. Start with a book, because reading is like digging. It brings you closer to the roots. And Bitcoin always starts from the roots. See you in the next episode, one block at a time.